Alright, welcome back to Flight Sim 2020 and welcome back to a familiar airport for the Neofly series. We are of course on the ground at our little hangar at Pietermaritzburg Airport. This is episode 13 of the Neofly series. And if you remember back to episode 12, we did some kind of scouting around northern KZN in South Africa to find some airstrips that we can operate some missions in and out of. But today we're back at one of our home bases, kind of where we started the whole thing off, all the way back in the beginning episodes of Neofly. However, we are in a new aircraft, so this is the Coronado 207 that Asobo provided as part of one of the local legends in one of the updates or something like that. But anyway, I've always been a fan of the 207, so I'm quite keen to operate that into some of our airstrips. The route we're flying today is going to be a familiar one. In the early series, or in the early episodes of the series, we did a lot of flights between Pietermaritzburg and Virginia, but today's one is going to be different, not just because we're flying the 207, but because we have a new type of cargo in Neofly. So if we jump across to our Neofly app, right, we can see we have 1,170 pounds of unstable gas to take to Virginia, which means our landing rate needs to be less than 200 feet per minute. We can't bank more than 31 degrees, that's easy, or pitch, but we need to climb at less than 500 feet a minute. That should be okay on this flight because it's nice and short. We're just going down to Virginia, so we're going to fly pretty low anyway. But we need to be very careful of that, even on our takeoff. If we don't do that, then the gas could kind of expand and escape and cause a pretty unsafe aircraft cabin, and then we have to return to the airport as quickly as possible from what I understand. So this is the first time I'm going to be flying this cargo, so that's pretty cool. So let's accept that and then start getting things loaded up. And we're pretty much full up. So we'll go and crank this all the way up. Right, and there we actually have a guy with his hazmat suit loading up our hazardous cargo. And I've always thought the 207 just looks like it's going to fall on its tail, especially when it's loaded up like it is now. The way it leans back like that is just crazy. Anyway, so there is our hazardous cargo being loaded up. Once we arrive in Virginia, we'll see. We're going to do a couple of routes today. I'm not sure what routes we have available at Virginia. So again, it's been quite a while since we've been down in Durban, Pietermaritzburg area. Right. Invisible speed bumps. I wonder if that's is that a joke about some of the airport scenery in Flight Sim where there's like invisible walls and steps and things, or do they mean turbulence? But anyway, let's start firing up. The one thing I don't know if I'm a huge fan of is this window tint on the 207, which you don't seem to be able to get rid of. I'm sure there'll be a mod at some point. But I mean, if you look outside, everything's a bit more red. It's like very green inside, and it makes things kind of dark. So I don't know if that's necessary, but yeah, like I said, there will probably be a mod at some point where we can get rid of that. Okay, let's do mixture and prop. That's on. I suppose we'll do nav and beacon. That's fine for now. I don't think any of these. Oh, that's actually working the trim. That's interesting. Right, that's fine. Let's get it started up and then we'll do our avionics. So that's done. We can crack the throttle a little bit. Just make sure that everything is neutral. And then I suppose
clear prop.
We just chuck that in. Right. So let's get the avionics on then. Okay, so we're at about 2,400 feet here. So we are going east. What do we do? 3,500, I think. We just need to climb nice and slowly. So basically, we need to be less than that line there the entire time we're climbing or descending. Okay, we'll let that align. We can turn on the taxi light, and then we're pretty much done with our setup. I think I'll just put Virginia in the GPS just to make things easier. Right, so we've done acquiring our satellites. Let's quickly come in here and just do FAM. And we're going to FAV. Like so, nice and easy, and flip this over like that. Right, and now we can go ahead and taxi out for runway, what is it, 16? It's the one that's behind us. Not very windy today. It is cloudy, but clouds seem to be at a level that's not going to bother us. However, actually out towards Virginia, maybe they're a bit lower. Maybe I should do this to taxi the 207. These like spar, what do you call these? I was gonna say struts, but they're not struts. Spars? Poles? I suppose you kind of get used to it when you're flying the plane. It does seem to be a little annoying. Why can't I think of the word? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Fire engine has its lights on, which is always concerning. Are we going to make it all the way to the runway without a vehicle driving through it? Ooh, it wants to move. Yeah, no, I think it's chilling. We might actually make it without a vehicle crashing into us. Okay, we'll do flaps up, takeoff. We've got plenty of runway. And I want to make that climb out nice and smooth. I mean, that actually doesn't have anything to do with the flaps. I'm just kind of thinking to myself here. Okay, lights and strobes. Transponder can now go on. Can't see where the taxiway is. Okay, so bank and pitch of 31 degrees is actually simple. We normally wouldn't exceed that anyway. But vertical speed of 500 feet is going to be the one that we need to focus on. Right, I think we are clear. Let's get out of here and go say hello to Virginia for the first time in many episodes. 500 feet per minute is really slow climb. Wow. Ooh, we were actually going over it a little bit there. It's very easy to exceed that. Actually going to bring the power back a little bit to help us. Wasn't sure if we were going to make it over the hills there around the airport at only 500 feet a minute. Yeah, there seems to be a little bit of tolerance because I've kind of just gone over 500 feet a couple of times, just briefly, and Neofly hasn't said we've died. Although I'm hoping that that whooshing noise is just the wind from FS Realistic, which I might actually go internal, and that's not our unstable gas escaping. Aircraft actually trims out quite nicely. A lot of the aircrafts in Flight Sim, the trim is like very twitchy and it's difficult to kind of trim it out exactly. This one, I mean, I'm actually not touching the controls now. The autopilot's off. So that's actually quite cool. And beautiful morning here in KZM. Around a 15-minute flight to the coast, down to Virginia. Landing at Virginia is going to be interesting without exceeding 500 feet a minute. There's my 3,500 feet. I should be leveling off. Because of like those trees and things around Virginia, you normally come in a little bit steeper than that. Quite a bit steeper than 500 feet a minute, I think. Mind you, the 207 is not like super fast, so we should actually be fine. Let's actually zoom out here a little bit. Wondering if I should fly down the valley here, because otherwise it's going to get quite bumpy. We're this low over the mountains. Getting close to the clouds here. Hopefully Virginia is VFR. Yeah, it looks fine. As we get a bit closer to the coast, we can descend a little bit as well. Give us a bit more space under the clouds. And then yeah, once we get to Virginia, I'll have a look and see what jobs are available. I haven't actually set up any of the routes yet that we checked out in episode 12. I'm quite keen to fly the Embraer 120 again. Oh, sorry, not the 120, the Embraer 110. We always had that route, which I've flown on the channel before, going out from Virginia to Tlhuthlui. Getting a bit of rising air here on these ridges. Really keep an eye on that vertical because 500 is not a lot. Just below the clouds here. I mean, any lower cloud base and we wouldn't have been able to get through here VFR. It's actually quite lucky. It's like it might even be lower out that way, or just it could be. It's probably because the terrain's a bit higher. Right, just under 10 minutes to go. We can climb a little bit now, although we're getting closer to the clouds. Once again, a familiar sight flying over the Nanda Dam. Durban city and harbour is out there. Right, maybe we should start descending, because we have to descend pretty slowly. Come off the power a little bit. Just a touch, because we probably want to do 300, 400 feet per minute descent. Just under 5 minutes to go. Starting to descend a little quickly. Keep an eye on that. Oh wow. Getting too busy looking at the scenery. We dropped below 500 feet per minute descent quickly there. Well, she didn't say that we're in any danger. I think we caught it just in time. See if we can spot Virginia Airport. I think we're kind of heading straight for it. Or is it off to our right? No, I think it's pretty much straight ahead. What I'm going to have to do next, once we go over the airport, is start slowing down. And that's when I'm really going to have to keep an eye on that descent rate. Because once we start slowing down, the nose, when I pull the power back, the nose is going to want to drop a lot. little bit more open out here. It's cloudy out that way. There is the runway just off the coast. Let's probably aim for those two big skyscrapers there for our point at which we turn on to final line up with the runway. Right, let's start slowing down. It's going to feed in the trim as I back off the throttle so we can try and keep that nose up. Those double skyscrapers are probably actually pretty far. You can probably turn halfway between that little single one and the double, so about where we are now. Let's get flaps 1 in as well. And I'm going to do flaps full. Try and keep it as slow as possible on the touchdown. So now we've got to touch down nice and slowly as well. Make sure that we don't blow up our cargo. Yeah, we're a little low, so I don't need to be descending quite so much right now. See, this is what I was saying, because here we need to descend a bit faster than 500. We should be okay. Feels like there's quite a hectic crosswind.
Smooth one. That's what people pay.
Yeah. Whoa. Big gust there. That was close. Right, well, we made it. It nearly went wrong on the landing there. So landing lights and strobes. And this guy to stand by. Wow, quite a bit of power to get up the little hill here. Taxi light is on. That's off, that's off. Ooh. And flaps are. Right, but welcome back to Virginia. We did visit Virginia in the last episode. So we have been here recently. I just can't remember which one was my hangar. Is it here? No, this is the fuel bay. Engine, Shelter Aviation. I think we're behind this one. So I missed it in the last episode. This is Com Air, but I think this is where it was either this one or the next one. Let's go see what the next one looks like. I think it might have been this one. Oh, great. There's a vehicle in it. We are in a 207, so you know what? I'm just going to park on the grass here. I need a bit of power. I need a lot of power. Mind you, we are pretty heavy. Oh. Unstable gas. Right, there we are, safely arrived at Virginia. I should now start unloading our cargo shortly. Or did we fail because we exceeded that rate? Oh no, there we go. Right, so now we should see. There we go. That sounds safe. Very cool. Okay, so that's pretty cool. It's cool to see them adding new jobs and new cargo types and stuff in. Hi, how come our lights are still on? Probably because I didn't switch them off. Taxi light, beacon light, nav light, avionics. Key to off, or master to off. Whatever you call that. That's batteries. Master switch? Right. So now let's have a look. I'm going to go and check out what jobs we need to cover from Virginia, and then I'll join you in a second. Yeah, I think I might look for some more stuff in the 207 since we're already flying that, but it depends on what's kind of available. So I'll see you in just a little bit for you, probably 10-15 minutes for me, and then we will go somewhere else. Okay, so as you can see, we're not in the 207, we're back in a 222. I've actually rented the 222 for this mission because while I was looking for some passengers or cargo to take with the 207, this emergency mission popped up. So we've got a doctor on board and we need to fly her along the coast. So we'll be going southwest along the coast, just the other side Kingsborough. And we need to try and drop the doctor off as close as possible to the injured person. So that's what we're going to do. We're all fired up and ready to go, so we don't waste any time. But let's get out of here. And let's see if we can get the doctor to this person in time. It's been quite a while since I've flown the 222. Seems to have a lot more power than I remember, because I barely even pushed up the collective and we are motoring. Okay, so we're basically just going to follow the coast. We'll go over the harbor and then we kind of just keep going. It's not too far, it's about 25 miles, I think, from Virginia. Right, past the stadiums, and Ushaka Marine World is along here somewhere. That's right on the beach. I'm actually going a little fast. I think this is Ushaka Marine World. Yes, there. With those pools and stuff. So underneath us now. Yeah, that's it. Pretty cool. And there's a whale out there. That is from Sofly's Animals pack. The whales actually look pretty rubbish. All they need to do is set them so that they stay under the water, because it's like they kind of float on top of the water and their tails like flap out of the water, which is a bit strange. Now we just follow the coastline here. I suppose we can keep an eye out for some other animals. The Sofly pack puts them all over the world. So on the coast it's normally whales and sharks, I think. I've never actually spotted any sharks. I've seen the whales like that one there. But most importantly, we need to find this landing zone. So we're actually not super far now. I've just got Neofly open on my other screen so I can see where they want us to land, but I think there should be orange smoke, which we'll see once we get a bit closer. Right, so Kingsborough there's still a bit of a way to go. This is the old Durban airport over here. And Kingsborough is just other side that. So before King Sharko was built, which is north of Virginia, this was the main Durban airport. Now it's like a storage area. You can see there's a whole bunch of, like, I think it's like trucks and stuff. I know that there was something to do with vehicles that get stored here. Are we sightseeing while we're trying to save someone's life? That's not good. We should be focused on the mission. We're not far now. Right, so now I can pretty much just follow this. This is the N2. That will take us into the town of Kingsborough, and then the injured person is just on the kind of the outskirts of Kingsborough. What mall that is. Gee, loads of big buildings here. Weather's fine. Cloud base is high enough that it's not going to interfere with us at all. It is kind of dark up ahead. Clouds look like they're going to be no factor for us today. What is that? why does that look like it's exactly in the direction that we're going? Is the smoke white? Interesting. I think that's where we're going. Wait, is it like some sort of crash then? Car, that's like a lot of smoke for a car crash. We've done a plane crash before in Neofly. Maybe it's another plane crash. I think that's what it is, with that amount of smoke. Well, at least it was easy to find. This is Kingsborough over here, by the way. Yeah, I think that's where we are going. When we did the plane crash, did we drop off a doctor? I don't remember. I thought we just landed and picked up some survivors. Right, so we've got to get her as close as we can. Well, it's definitely that white smoke up ahead. That's where we're going. I can't actually see anything because of the smoke. Fire. I don't see any sort of crash. I don't want to fly into the smoke, to be honest. Should we put it down on this road here? It's probably going to be the easiest. I don't know if it is a plane crash. Yeah, once my gear down because I'm slow now. I don't want to fly into that, so I think that road on the other side from us now is the closest. Put her at this kind of intersection here. Can walk down that path into the disaster. Not exactly very flat, is it? To angle something like that. Okay, that should work. Right, we've done that. she's heading out. A pretty steep hill that we're on. Oh, so it is a crash site. They said crash site now. Oh, we're done. We just had to drop off the doctor. Oh, okay, cool. So we're not picking up passengers, we're just bringing the doctor here. Cool. Wonder what the nearest airport is, because we can land anywhere. I mean, technically, we probably should go back to Virginia. Out of curiosity, let's see. How do I get to nearest here? Is it this one? FANB. Elveston Airfield in Mpumalanga. Wow, that's far. 20 miles. It's basically as far as Virginia, and it's way further inland. Okay, we'll just head back to Virginia then. I wonder what crashed there. I don't see... I mean, that's a lot of smoke. Couldn't actually see anything in the middle, but anyway. Right, let's make our way back to Virginia. What I'm actually going to do is let's go and fly off the coast and see if we can spot any other animals along here. I don't know how frequently that wildlife pack places animals throughout the world, but I'm pretty sure, I mean, that whale's definitely part of it. So there could be others, or there should be others along the coast as well. They should be fairly easy to spot. What are we, 1,000 feet? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, I don't actually have... That's what I wanted. Almost 1,500 feet. Since we're heading back, I'll get a bit closer to that whale so you can see what I mean. Animation, and that's a bit weird. I think maybe aim for about 1,000 feet, which is where we are now. I'm sure if there were any sharks or whales or other things, we would spot them from 1,000 feet. Let's see. Maybe that's something we should actually do, is we could do some like sightseeing flights to go find some of the animals that are now placed all around South Africa. I know they've got a bunch of different ones. So there's lions, leopards, rhino, hippo, elephant maybe. Well, obviously elephants as part of some of the other sceneries as well. Then there's geese. And then you've also got domestic animals. So there's cows, pigs, horses. I think there's sheep. And if you head into other countries, you've got like kangaroos in Australia, bears and stuff in America and Asia. What else? I don't actually know what else there is. Oh, there are gorillas and things in Northern Africa, Central Africa. Chimpanzees as well, I think. Crocodiles. So yeah, maybe we should go and do some sightseeing and see if we can find some of those. They're marked on the map. If you go to the world map, you can see them like the normal Microsoft fauna are. So you can find them that way. I haven't really looked for any of them yet. But that whale just outside Durban I've seen before. So they kind of seem to move around in like a small area. But that's pretty much the only one I've actually looked at properly. So that's maybe something we should do. I think we can do one more flight for this episode. We're at an hour and a half worth of recording now. So I'll probably do one more flight. I'll see what we've got from Virginia that we can do in the 222. We've always got our standard back to Pietermaritzburg route in the 222, which we've done a bunch of times. There might actually be some... Oh, so I think what we did last time was a search and rescue mission where we actually have to pick up the kind of patient or survivor or whatever you want to call them. This one was an emergency where we just have to drop off the doctor. Now I wonder if because you can do that mission in fixed wing aircraft as well. If you take the doctor, do they parachute out or do you have to try and land? Because I mean, if we went where we were now in like the 207 or something, we're not going to be able to land there. Maybe if you took them in like the Super Cub or something like that, you could land on like an open patch. Are those more animals? Oh no, I think these are boats. Part of the Durban Harbour scenery. Yeah, so those are boats. And that whale should be somewhere here to our left in this area. Is where we've seen it before. I think they're just always in kind of the same place. Would be cool if like every time you started the sim, it shifted their placement a little bit. So they're not always like exactly in the same place. I don't actually see it. Oh, maybe it does do that, because I don't see it anywhere. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so now you can see what I mean. Check how the tail comes up out of the water. Like if they just had it like that and it just moved around, it would be better. But the tail coming up is just so weird. Okay, so that's a blue whale. Just annoy everyone on this cruise liner. So I guess we put our 222 back where we picked her up, because this is, I just rented it for this mission, I didn't buy this one. So we'll put it back where we found it and then see if we can do another flight. What else we have operating from Virginia? So we're going all the way to the end by that blue hangar. Quite high here. Oops. There's people where I was gonna land, so let's just go to this left-hand one then. take it forward a little bit. And we can put it down here. He just disappeared. And he's back again.
Great landing.
Right, we can go ahead and shut down. Okay, we can turn all of this off. We'll leave the anti-collision light on. That can stay, that can probably stay. Is there anything else I need to switch off? No, I think that's fine. Oh, that's what I wanted to do, is just close those guys. Right, we should technically wait for the blades to stop spinning, but I'm gonna switch all of that off for now. Right, and there we are. I really love the big two-bladed choppers like the 222 and the Huey and stuff. Very, very cool. Okay, we're gonna do one more flight, so I'll see you in a couple of seconds. Let me go and see what's available to us from here at Virginia. So actually what happened was, when I was looking earlier, all of our aircraft that are based here at Virginia were actually all out on missions already with AI pilots. So that's why I took a mission with the 222, because the 110, there's a 110 that's based here, there's a Caribou that's based here, and there is a Kodiak that's based here, and all of them were out making money for us, which is cool. So we'll see. Some of them might actually be back now, although I doubt it, especially the 110 was out on quite a long mission. The Kodiak and the Caribou, like the Caribou normally just goes between here and Pietermaritzburg and I think Margate and Richards Bay, so it might be back. But anyway, I'll find something cool for us to do, and I'll see you in just a bit. Okay, so to finish off, we're actually going to have a pretty chilled flight, because we're going to be taking our 207 back to Pietermaritzburg. We don't have hazardous cargo this time, it's just some passengers. The reason for that is that's where the Embraer 121 is, and in the next episode I want to take that down somewhere else in South Africa so we can check out more of our route network, probably East London, because that's where a lot of our cargo operations are currently based, so we might do that. So I need to get back to Pietermaritzburg anyway, and we might as well return our 207 to Pietermaritzburg, and we have some passengers that want to go to Pietermaritzburg from Virginia, so that's what we're going to do quickly. So let's jump inside and just get things switched on, and then I will start the passengers boarding. I'm going to turn on the avionics now, just so that that can start aligning so long, and then we can put in our route and head over. So let's get our passengers boarding for Pietermaritzburg. We're going to a concert, right? We need to put in some payload. A little bit more. Wow, okay, cool. So we're pretty much full up once again. Oh, okay, no, not quite. I don't have to go that high. I think Neofly is just taking a while to update. There we go. So 97% is exactly what we need. And I didn't actually click this, so we're still going to have to wait for that to align. And I think we'll probably just hand fly it over to Maritzburg again, like we did last time. So let's actually get things fired up. And we can leave this to align while we start the engine. Okay, so that's full forward, and so is that. To just sync that with my HOTAS. This we're gonna do VFR, so we just go 700. Set it to standby. We don't actually need to do anything there. The rest of that is all fine. So now we just need to a little bit of throttle and go ahead and start it up. Cool. Okay, so again, we just need to wait a little bit for our satellites to finish acquiring, and then we should be good to go. Alright, GPS is up and running, so let's go and put in our flight plan quickly. So once again, it is VG. And we're going to PM. Like so. Cool, click this over, and we are ready to get out of here. So what I still need to do is actually create those routes from Maritzburg and Virginia up into northern KZN that we looked at in the previous episode. And then I do need to head down to East London, check out some things there at our hub, and then maybe we'll come back here and fly some of those routes up there, and then head back up to do routes in the Kruger. So lots of stuff that I still want to do in the Neofly series, so we got plenty of episodes to come. Bunch of little 172s. Since we passed all of the kind of operational stuff, we're not going to annoy anyone by turning on all of our lights at this point. Right, at least this time I don't have to climb at less than 500 feet per minute, so we can actually just climb out normally. We'll go to about 3,000 because, I mean, we're below 3,000 feet AGL. If we did 2,500 on the altimeter, we would too low. So we'll do about 3,000 on the altimeter and kind of just fly based on the terrain, I suppose. Coming in by the looks of things. Right, let's head back to Pietermaritzburg. so as usual from Virginia, take off towards the harbor. And at about 700 feet, we'll start our right-hand turn to head towards Maritzburg. So we can start doing that now. Right, flaps are already up. It seemed like that cloud base is getting lower. That might actually be the case. Okay, we can back off the power a bit. And this time I'm actually going to bring my prop back to 25 or just under 25. Coming up to 2,000 feet. I kind of need to level off here to stay below these clouds, I think. So that's what I'm going to do. But that might cause some issues later on with the terrain. Oh, it'll just be brilliant if we can't actually make it into Pietermaritzburg after all this. Bumpy. Okay, let's get it trimmed out nicely. So about 12 minutes to go. Everything is in the green. Let's probably just remember, oh, definitely should have turned this on. Next time I fly the 207 is we need to put some fuel in. So we started the day with about half tanks. And so we're probably sitting at like 30, between 25 and 30% fuel left. Once we land in Maritzburg, maybe even down to like 20%. Is that actually a bit like cloudy here close to the ground, or is my windows like misting up? Is that even modeled in the 207? I am climbing because I'm just kind of sticking with the terrain here. I think it's a little bit like hazy down here. I wonder if we come down here. So what have we got? Cabin heat and air. Let's do that. I don't know if it's going to make any difference. Weather looks fine. It's just this kind of blanket. But we've got enough space to kind of just sneak in underneath here. Okay, let me see. At Pietermaritzburg, I should actually be able to get a METAR. And then we can actually use the correct runway. Okay, so weather was reported 1 hour ago. Marginal VFR. Okay, fair enough. Ceiling at 2,400 feet. Yeah, okay, cool. I can believe that. Winds 220 at 9. So, I guess that would favor runway 34. This is runway 34 and runway 16. And we took off on 16. Let's see. It's actually better for 16. So that's cool. Means we have to go over the airport, so we kind of would join a left-hand downwind, pretty much midfield, for runway 16. So that's what we'll do. So I can dial this in. Wow, this looks heavy misaligned, because it is. Basically 310. Like so, and then 16 is all the way on this side. Oh wow, this turns slowly. Go. Yeah, just over 5 minutes to go. Just under 6 minutes. Clouds seem to be moving more kind of north up the coast. Like it's much darker out that way than it is that way, sort of. It's definitely lighter here than when we started this morning. I'm going to lose a bit of altitude here because the terrain allows us to do so, and we're getting a little close to the clouds again. Okay, 3.5 minutes. And here are these two little camper down airstrips which we operated in and out of a few times in the earlier episodes. I think mostly with helicopters, if I remember correctly. The H125 and the 222 at some point. I think I definitely remember doing the H125 in and out of these two airports here. Yes, we did a search and rescue mission with the 222 in this area. There was a plane crash out here somewhere on one of these little ridges that we attended. I think it actually might be behind us somewhere. And then we landed maybe at one of these. It could have been, I think we actually might have gone back to Pietermaritzburg. Yeah, these little airstrips are where we started the whole Neofly thing. There's the little airstrip down there. Right, there is the airport. So we can actually gain a bit of altitude here. We're a little bit low. And there's no clouds around here, so we are perfectly fine to do so. And we can join onto our left downwind here. Yeah, our little orange marker heading indicator seems totally wrong. I wonder if that's it. I seem to have calibrated it okay. Interesting. Whoa. Right. Get some flaps in. Here, there's a whole bunch of schools that we're gonna fly over here. Basically underneath us now, and to our that side, that you can see those fields there. Those are schools. There's one pretty much directly underneath us now as well. I think there's another one this way somewhere. Yeah, let's go full flaps. It also feels like we have a little bit of a crosswind, not as much as we had in Virginia. Well, we know there is a bit of a crosswind, but doesn't feel anywhere near as strong as what I had in Virginia. Or at Virginia. Get the flaps up while we're here. Just spin it around. And go ahead and taxi back to our hangar. And all of this has kind of happened in the morning. It's almost lunchtime now. Or almost midday is what I mean. So I think the next episode we'll start off with an afternoon flight in the Embraer down to East London. It's moving around a lot on the taxiway. Is it very windy? Did we blow a tire? Yeah, landing lights and strobes can come off. Did that actually work? Yes, it did. Cool, this can now go to standby. We might as well switch it off because we're going to shut down now anyway. Flaps are up. Lights are set. And maybe we'll drop our passengers off right here by the door. And then we can move our aircraft later over to our hangar. Right, we can stop it right there. Switch off the rest of our lights. Avionics and batteries. Right, and our passengers are now disembarking, and we are safely back at Pietermaritzburg. That is the kind of morning's runs done out to Virginia. We did an emergency mission, dropping off a doctor at a crash of, I still don't know what crashed. There was a lot of smoke and we couldn't actually see. So yeah, I started off with a hazardous cargo going out to Virginia and ended off with a pretty chilled passenger flight back to Pietermaritzburg. But that is going to bring us to the end of episode 13. If you did enjoy the video and you want to keep up with the Neofly series, you know what to do down below, and I'll see you in the next video.